Today on episode 35 of the Home of Play podcast, PS5 won't support SSD storage expansion at launch. Your character won't look like melted plastic in Demon's Souls. And Ubisoft backwards compatibility confusion. All that and more.
It's about time for some intro. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to episode 35 of the Home of Play podcast, where every Monday the two best friends join forces to give you all the latest in PlayStation rumors, news, reviews, and that is because we are true PlayStation fans. I'm your host, Steve, and with me I'm joined by the King of Platinum Trophies himself, Christopher.
Hello.
The Home of Play podcast is a self-supported podcast. We don't include any of the biased or paid-for opinions that you don't need here because of this. This allows us to bring you the PlayStation news you need or want to know. All of our content is free for you to enjoy at your leisure. We only ask that you help support the show by visiting the YouTube channel, which can be found by searching the Home of Play podcast. Once there, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, maybe even giving us a like on the video should the spirit move you, winky wink face. If you're already hearing our beautiful voices by the magic of our YouTube channel, then guess what? We are a podcast. That means you can find us on your favorite podcast services of choice, such as Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Every month we are growing. It's all because of you lovely gaming homies helping us spread the cause through the power of word of mouth. If you have any questions, comments, or corrections, then we want to hear from you. Please leave any of those in our YouTube videos, and then we can read your questions on the show or alone while I deal with my problems pronouncing frustration.
I like that.
That is a fun tidbit for the last episode. On today's episode, we have 6 news articles to discuss, but first, as always, let us begin with what we've been up to this last week. Chris, what have you been up to?
I have finally sunk my teeth into a little bit of Watch Dogs Legion. I know you were playing that too.
Maybe.
I know you were focusing a lot more on side stuff. I'll pick a main quest and I'll hit things on my way to it. Not NPCs. I won't hit them.
Nope.
They're precious.
I've hit plenty.
They're precious. I'm enjoying it. It's about what I would expect from it. I think there's some stuff missing. To be honest, when it came out, I wasn't realizing that it wasn't going to have co-op mode day one. So, and then by the time it is going to get co-op, I don't know if it'll still be playing it or not.
Yeah, December's a long way away in a world that we're living in right now.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. There's a lot of stuff, but I know you're going to shoot down some of that stuff when you talk. But I mean, it's interesting. It's not like an amazing game. I got to get a little bit more into it because I'm thinking there's going to be more content, hopefully at the end of the game, like more side stuff to do. Because right now it's pretty much you clear a district, and then you just move on. There's not much more to do that I'm seeing. So I'm hoping more unlocks when you finish the game, or maybe like new activities will open up. Apart from like playing soccer, well, not really. It's just bouncing the ball or whatever. Mini game.
It's mini game.
Yeah, there's darts. Lots of NPCs. I do like how the NPCs where it's like you could help one NPC and then later on you might scan another NPC and it's like you helped this person's cousin so they like you. They like DedSec. So it's kind of interesting. I need to get more into it. Right now I'm kind of more excited for the PlayStation 5, so I haven't really been doing too much. I'm kind of like maybe I'll just wait and play it on there now. Not sure. It's not like the game's like, I haven't had any crashes yet. I know you've had a couple.
Yeah.
But I haven't had any like major glitches or crashes. So, and like frame rate issues, I don't recall any. But
I got a few, but they're not as bad as some people made it out.
That's pretty much it. Look forward to trying it a little bit more. Hopefully, I don't want it to get blurred into the background with all the other games that are coming out. But I have a feeling that it might. It just feels a little light on some of the side stuff. Apart from that, a little bit more Genshin Impact, just doing the dailies and all that kind of stuff, progressing pretty good in there. The next big update for that one's coming out, I think, the day before the PS5 comes out. And it's sounding like there's going to be day one launch on the PS5. Not that anybody wants to hear me that I'm playing a mobile game on the PlayStation 5, but I don't know. The game's got me, man. It's got me. Apart from that, yeah, it's been a pretty quiet week. It was a full week of work and all that kind of stuff. So how about you? I definitely saw you playing Watch Dogs.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing I played that I can recall. Pretty sure any free second I had for gaming was Watch Dogs. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm done with it though. Like, I don't know. It did what I thought it was going to do. I never expected it to be a great game. So I think I saved myself some heartache, but I definitely, even though I wasn't expecting a lot, I am a little disappointed. Unlike you, like if we were putting money down, I would guarantee you there's probably nothing new and other than co-op coming in December. So I kind of think like this is the least open world game I've ever played in terms of things to do.
I have to hope that the further you get in the storyline, more activities unlock, because right now there's nothing.
And you could be right. Like maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot for being done so early, but like this is just an organic feeling. It's not that I'm like, oh, there's nothing to do, so I'm done with it. It's just I don't know, nothing's making me want to play, and like it's just bad timing.
It suffers too from the one thing that we were most scared about the game was the fact that you're not going to be able to bond with any of these characters,
and you don't, or at least I don't.
It feels like when you're getting into like the main story missions, the people that are in the story that you can't play, they're talking to like a blank you know what I mean? Like they're just directing their audio to you personally, the player, not the people you've gathered in NPCs, because some of their chats are like very nondescript. Like it's very, the banter is like, I don't know. It's just I'm not bonding with that one character. Maybe I gotta wait for that DLC to come out where you can play as Aiden from the first one. It's like, and then, hey, I know who this is. He has a life.
And maybe he'll talk sensibly. But
I haven't had the problems too where like the banter between. I think it's because I'm really selective in who I recruit.
I was going to ask you, what is the age group of the character you're playing?
I'm like the exclusive DedSec team where I only recruit the ones I want to recruit. I think I only have like 6 people.
But what is the age group of the characters you're playing?
I have one detective. He's older. But it makes sense because he's a detective and stuff. So, journalist who's probably in her late 40s, and a couple of younger people, construction worker people.
Because that's where maybe why I'm having such an issue is like I keep playing young people, and I don't know why, but the dialogue for the young people is just, I don't know. It breaks my brain. Blood starts coming out of my ears when they talk.
I don't have any young guy characters.
Maybe that's what. But even like the female, like they'll just be saying the crazy stuff, and maybe it is how they speak in the UK. But like, I just don't believe that anyone talks like that, and it could be the age.
Some of it makes me smile because some of their accents, I think, are on point, and they're those accents when you hear them talk, and it's like I understood 3 words out of 10 of those words. Yeah, it just makes me smile. Some of them. But some of them are just bad, where it's like you just sound like
it's not even the way they're talking; it's the words they're using.
Yeah,
like I don't know. It broke me. But besides that, like I had a total of 4 crashes now. I have pictures. I took them just to send to you, actually. But I got to send you through the PlayStation because of the terrible sharing mechanics on that. But when you finish a mission, there'll be a weird pulse where everything goes black, red, and white lines. Like it looks almost like a Matrix-ish system, except with green numbers. Imagine like white and red lines.
I'm honestly not remembering that.
Okay, well, when you finish a mission or acquire
maybe that's just
someone,
a bug.
Well, no, it's when you finish a mission or do whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Okay, well, it does like a weird little pulse thing. It locked in that, and then my world was just white lines and red lines and blackness. And I couldn't, like, I tried fast traveling, whatever, I just couldn't get it to go away. I literally just had to like end the whole application, start again. That was annoying. And then other than that, not too many other glitches that have killed my characters yet, so that's been good. But overall, I think the story's mediocre. I think what they tried to do here with the NPCs, in my experience, and this could just be because of my play style, but like I am not excited about it. I don't think how much like they delayed it. I thought the extra time would have made this mechanic work better, but it feels mediocre. It just definitely comes out a gimmick. You don't connect anyone. They're pointless in the story. Like, it's sad that the AI is more of a character than the character I'm playing. Bentley or whatever his name is. So that's an issue. And yeah, just it's randomly generating these NPCs, and like some of them are so weird. Like, it's not that it's totally unrealistic, but like I was telling you about this 70-year-old lady that shows up to talk to me who's got a mohawk, white contact lenses, face tattoos, piercings, but yet she's still talking like someone that would knit you a sweater. And it just feels so out of place because I believe these NPCs are just like random, all completely random. I'm seeing multiples of the same NPCs already. You know, they may have a different coat, but they have the same hat, hair, and face and makeup. And I'm like, yeah, like this doesn't justify like you really going down. I'm worried that's why I feel like there's such little things to do in this open world because they focus so hard on this thing, and it's really the main reason I'm disconnecting with.
It's almost like I wish that the game was filmed like in a country town where there is only like 300 people that live in the town, and they're all like specifically designed for it, you know?
Yeah,
as opposed to like these randomly generated family structure people.
And like the gimmick they leaned on, like it's you know it's a lot. Like I understand why it would be hard to do, but then if you weren't going to go all in, like you just shouldn't have done it at all. And that's where I end up leaving. So like I'm not going to give it a number, but like if you're going to ask me, you know, summarize it, your experience, you're over 20 hours in, because I don't think I'm going to finish this game, so I'm not going to give you a final number. But if you said like good, okay, or bad, it's okay. You know, I definitely wouldn't say run your stores and get it today. I definitely think it's a game that like with all the other ones that are coming out right away, you could probably wait on and for a good deal. Maybe Black Friday it'll be on sale, then maybe grab it. But unless you really loved Watch Dogs 2, like and honestly, I think it's going to be worse because at least that character you had a main protagonist. This one, I just get random weird dialogue that I would rather not hear.
Yeah, I don't want to give it a number yet either because I will finish it. I'm hoping I will finish it. But I mean, when we first saw the game, we're like, this is going to be a 6 or a 7.
Yeah,
I'm shocked if it got higher than that. My initial impression is it's still going to hit about that 6 or 7. That's where I'm kind of at that okay. It might be a little bit less. Like they could have done so much better. Like all these people you recruited, they could have added some sort of a mechanic where it's like you could assign your people to certain districts and you get bonuses, or they'd be able to help lower ratings, or you know what I mean?
Well, and I understand like why maybe they didn't want to do it, but like allow me to upgrade certain characters.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, if I really like this one character, but they only have one perk, it just sucks that, like, I feel like I'm forced to not play them.
The whole in-game currency is for cosmetics.
Yeah.
Clothing or weapon skins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in-game currency, so at least it's not paid currency, but...
Because there's so many times where I see people in the street, I'm like, oh, that guy looks cool, I want to recruit him, but his only perk is a paintball gun.
And he has hiccups.
This game's all about create a team. And, like, this might be a me thing, but, like, I just find that completely useless. I'm not going to connect. Now that I know I'm not going to connect to any of them, I'm just like, no, I'm just going to play the same girl this whole time.
I pretty much pick, like, who do I have on my team who can walk in this area without being detected?
See, and, like, I know you can do that, but literally it's so unnecessary. Like, I pick the same girl. She walks with the same building. Spider-Bot does everything. Leave the building, and I can complete everything. Like, it's so unnecessary to switch characters, not to mention it's a load screen, so I'm almost more incentivized to like not ever switch my character. So I stopped recruiting people. It's just not working out for me, and I'm just that is my biggest gripe. I don't know. There's a lot of questions.
You constantly. Oh, that's another thing. You constantly see NPCs going into doors and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And so it's like, why couldn't they have made your guy come out of that door for some stupid reason?
Oh, and I guess another problem is like I don't know how many people are recruited, but like 6. I constantly keep getting sent to the same building to do recruitment missions.
Oh yeah.
Way too many. Like there's 3 that I know in my head, like the map now, because I keep being sent to them so often. That's a problem.
I've only done like 6 people.
Oh, so. Okay. I just keep getting sent back to the same ones. And some I think were reused in missions too, so that might be the first time I was there. It's getting really old. Like, I don't know. That seems like in an open world game, like, why is there only one location in this district that you keep making me come back to? Like,
the environment's kind of nice. There's some cool stuff.
I still think it looks like it wanted to be cyberpunk, but fails to achieve any of it. So I don't know. That's it for everything we've been doing. So let us just get into the news. We have our 6 articles today, starting with number 1. Sony confirms PS5 will not support your SSDs at launch. A little disappointing because we already heard this week that nothing confirmed, but we're hearing that the PlayStation 5 you take out of the box, you only have 650 gigs-ish of usable storage. So I know some people are disappointed, but then we found out that not that it's going to be the answer for everyone, that you could use an SSD and store your PS4 games, your PS5 games, all that stuff on there. You wouldn't be able to run your PS5 games through the SSD, though you could your PS4s, but you probably wouldn't get the game boost. But at least it'd be like a little storage center, and then when you do want to play those games again, you don't have to re-download them, just transfer them back to your main hard drive. Well, now it sounds like you can't do that at launch.
Mm-hmm.
Not to like say that there's enough games at launch, unless you're going to re-download your entire PS4 library,
which is cool because you do almost have that option. It sounds like.
Yeah, but then like that'd be the only way. Or if you're playing Warzone, then you're going to fill up your hard drive.
Here we go again, another one.
Oh yeah, exactly. You got to take a shot every time you can. So yeah, a little disappointing. I guess we have to wait for an update until we'll be able to use our SSDs.
Yeah, it sounds like there's going to be a software patch that will allow the hardware to be added. It doesn't look like there's any details on when that is going to happen. Hopefully within the first 2 months. Because, 667 gigs is not... It's not a lot.
No.
You can go through that pretty quick. You can, like...
I mean, it will be enough for me because I'm very selective. So, like, if I'm not playing a game, I delete it.
Yeah, usually I have, like, the one multiplayer I'm playing constantly.
Yeah.
And then, like, 3 or 4 single players.
Because I can tell you right now, I probably don't even have half my hard drive filled up.
Yeah, I clean mine, so... But, it's not... It's probably halfway for me as well. But I've never been one to upgrade the storage before. I know a couple of friends, one buddy, he actually upgraded his hard drive in the PlayStation 4 with a better quality hard drive. So actually his loading, like we're playing the same game on the PlayStation Pro, but he actually loads into the world faster than I do, which is cool. I didn't even know you could do that. I mean, I knew you could do it, but I didn't think it would actually work. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing. Like we're going in an age where I'm hearing the number basically $200 per terabyte is for these hard drives. So yeah, if you want a 2 terabyte upgrade whenever they finally become available, that's like $400. That's you're already spending like $500 on a console. You're going to spend almost the entirety just for another terabyte in some.
Yeah.
And change, if you will.
Well, that's how they, I guess, stay competitive with the whole console.
And don't get me
price.
wrong, at that cost, it makes sense why we're limited in space.
Yep.
So I'm not even upset. I'm like, no, that holds enough games for me currently. Well, maybe down the line, I get so spoiled by like fast loads and switching games constantly that then it does bother me. But then maybe by then, when it becomes an issue, we'll just have more affordable options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, that's like, you can burn through that space pretty quick, especially if you're recording a lot of videos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're streaming, you're not, but there's sometimes you record a lot of videos and those take up space.
Yep.
Fills up pretty quick.
Well, especially if we start recording in 4K.
Oh, God, yeah.
Lord help us.
Yeah, the companies, I think, just have to get their shit together and optimize their games properly. Like, there's no reason Call of Duty should be that big.
Oh, absolutely not. We got...
And not just them. There's so many games out there that are just way too big. And then you play the game and it's like, I'm not seeing where all this data should be. Like, I've played games similar to this with like half the size.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll have to see what the new trend is. But, we talked about Demon's Souls. Sounds like it's only going to be 60, maybe 66 gigs. I'm hearing Miles Morales might only be 50-ish gigs, maybe less. And then I've heard even less from some other games. So I don't know where it's going to average out. But yeah, like even, before next gen, Call of Duty is just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Another thing we've also heard, which is kind of nice, the PlayStation 5 is going to ship out with an HDMI 2.1 cable. Yeah, so it's nice that we're going to get a proper cable. I know there was it sounds like there was confusion at the time because people weren't allowed to talk about it, I guess.
Well, okay, so it wasn't labeled, so everyone just assumed the worst.
Yeah, it didn't have that ultra high speed label on it.
So everyone was like, oh, wow, like you bragged about 120 frames per second, but I literally with this cable would not be able to get that. Yeah, it's a huge oversight where they just were like, oh yeah, we're going to give you this proper cable, but somehow didn't label it correctly so no one would know what the hell they even have.
Yeah, because you can't tell any other way.
I have a TV with HDMI 2.1. I need that cable for 120 frames per second. So it sucks now for me because I bought the cable. It cost me $80. And now I found out I don't need it.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least watch. But then it'll come with, like, it'll be 5 feet or something. So it won't be as long as even the system.
I wouldn't doubt it. I think, one was really short. But it's just good to know you will get it now. So those of you that have not bought that cable, lucky you. Number 2.
So Sony has revealed that the PS5 sales will be online. And it says not to camp out or line up at retail stores. So it sounds like they don't want people going to stores, standing in line for the system. In fact, that they won't actually have any available, from what I understand, right?
It sounds like there will be no retail copies, or I guess copies isn't good for consoles, but there'll be no boxes available for you in physical form if you go to a retail store.
Like if you pre-order it, you're fine where you have to pick up at the store.
Yes.
But if you're going there hoping that, hey, they're going to have extras sitting on the shelves.
No. It sounds like you'll be able to buy them, limited quantities, I assume, like always, but you'll be able to buy more at launch, but only through online retailers.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably walk into an EB and then pre-order one at that spot, but...
And I think, I wonder if this is planned to a certain degree where they didn't want people camping out in a COVID world.
Could be.
Fighting social distancing because people are going to eat each other. So, So, yeah, like, I don't know. It's hard for me to say how other people would perceive this. Like, we got our pre-orders were, if you want to use the words lucky or...
I think we are lucky because from what I've been hearing, there's a lot of people who... I didn't hear them at first, but I'm hearing them now where it's like they wanted it. Mm-hmm. And they're still trying. They're looking at Costco. They're looking at Target. They're looking at all these stores. And it's like, put it up, please. I'm like, I think we did get lucky, to be honest.
So then, okay, let's say we got lucky. So I do feel bad for anyone that wants, and it's just having a really hard time. I could totally understand the frustration on that. So I'm not sure if this is going to make you happy or sad that you still have to fight this invisible fiends that are also trying to get the same thing as you. So I do feel bad.
Don't line up. Don't expect you're going to get one. Find that guy behind the store who's going to sell it for double the price.
Yeah. Number 3. So we got a bunch of Demon's Souls news that makes me smile ear to ear because I am looking forward to Demon's Souls. It personally, obviously my opinion, looks like the best next-gen game we're getting.
It looks amazing.
It just is the only game where I look at that, I'm like, that's definitely the next step. Like, I just don't...
Tears.
Yeah, I don't see anything else. Like, there's stuff there's improvements, obviously, through all these games, HDR, ray tracing, all that stuff. This game doesn't even have ray tracing and it looks better than other games. It's crazy. So anyway, the first one, if you do recall the PlayStation 5 UI video that they showed, I don't know, roughly two or 3 weeks ago, they talked about how some games would support helpful videos built in the UI. It sounds like Demon's Souls might have over 180 of them.
That's a great game to have hints and tips because
absolutely
those games can get confusing. It's like, where am I supposed to go?
And those games have been known to break controllers. So
and TVs.
Yes. So I totally think this is the proper game to do it. It's great that they're always showing us that certain games will have this feature, not only supported, but just, you could almost say overly supported at 180 videos.
It would be cool if somehow they combine that system with like the, the words and hints on the floor, where it's like if you actually click on it and it's like, do you want to expand this hint or this message or something? And it like zoomed out and you actually saw a video. That'd be really cool.
It would, but I don't think we're going to
get that.
The developer wouldn't want that because they want you to have that surprise death.
Yeah.
I don't know why they love watching people cry.
Walking off the cliff in the exact same spot.
So yeah, that was the first bit of awesome information, just knowing that we're going to get some cool UI help to get us through the burden or hurdle that is Demon's Souls. So in addition to that news, we also found out that Demon's Souls character creator has just a super update. Your characters don't look like Chris said at the start, melted plastic or melted chocolate.
Plastic. Whichever one.
He was hungry when he said chocolate, and then he went to plastic.
You might only hear one of those clips, but I recorded both.
So personally, for me, I have found a lot of the character creation to be disappointing. Like, your characters always look like garbage,
and I don't need like Skyrim level of options, even though those even look worse. But I don't need that many. Like, I don't need cheek bone structure and all that kind of stuff.
But just the characters themselves always look bad. Like, all the environments, the armors, the monsters, they always look great in those games. The characters themselves, this, like, from the pictures we're seeing, like, this is a step up. Like,
Oh yeah. I mean, mind you, you're mostly looking at the armor too. But,
no, and
but
like that's the thing. I'm probably gonna have a helmet on. Like, I'm not even gonna look at them later. But I personally love those things. I like I will spend hours customizing my character needlessly, even if I know it's stupid. I like that. So that was really cool to see. I'm so excited for this game now. The helpful UI stuff, character creation, it looking just absolutely gorgeous. The fact that I'm hearing, and I don't know how this is going to fall, I could see them meaning to tell us like 2 invaders, some friends, but I'm hearing 6 people multiplayer. I don't know. Again, that's why I'm wondering if that means like 2 invaders, well, you have like 3 friends or something. Or does it mean like you have a couple of friends, but then you know how you can still summon NPCs to help? I don't know what it means, but all I know is it does have multiplayer. So I'm like, it's checking all the boxes I needed to hear that this is definitely a day one purchase for me.
Kind of side thing too is that's one game where it's like the AI is really good in my opinion.
Yes,
because it's like there's times where it's like you're seeing like someone spawns in and you're like, is that a player or is that an NPC? And just the way they're reacting, it's like, that must be a player. And then it's like you're fighting them and it's like, no, I think this is an NPC. And it's like, I don't know. Like,
that happened with Bloodborne. I got attacked by 2 people. I'm like, are these real people? Because they were actually fairly good.
Yeah. I love that part about that game. So me, I'm more interested in this one because I've only more recently gotten into the Souls style games. I played the hell out of Dark Souls 2, which I think that's not the more popular one of the series.
Everyone has their preference. I've heard people make that debate for it, and I've heard people make debates that 3's the worst and the first one's the best, but then same thing with I love the third one.
Yeah, and then I played the third one and I really enjoyed that one. I know Bloodborne's separate. That's another one that
I love Bloodborne too.
That one's a really popular one, and I kind of stalled in that one. I play that one when I have the free time, which I never seem to have the free time. Kind of got off topic, but Demon Souls looks great. I'm excited. I wouldn't get a day one for me, I don't think.
Number 4.
Ubisoft is kind of walking back on what they've said in regards to what games will and won't work on the PlayStation 5.
So Ubisoft came out with a list of games that supposedly would now not work and not be backwards compatible with the PS5, upsetting many people because we believed we already knew that there was only 4 or 5 games that wouldn't work, and none of them seemed substantial enough to warrant any concern. And then Ubisoft dropped this list saying that even random games like Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which I don't know why that wouldn't be backwards compatible, suddenly wouldn't be, and the internet erupted, and then all of a sudden, as quickly as it came, the list disappeared, and now we don't understand what the hell is going on.
But the internet, man, it keeps its history.
It does keep its history.
Like this is the list right here in front of us, right? Yeah, so like Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Chronicles, and then Risk, Star Trek Bridge Crew. I have that. That was fun to play with friends.
Well, not anymore.
Not that great of a game, but it was fun to play with friends.
Sit in a chair.
That's it was very comfortable.
Good.
Werewolves Within and Space Junkies. I don't know those ones.
No. So the only one here that really, I wouldn't even use the word concern, but like Syndicate, why? Like, why would the previous one work and not Syndicate?
It's weird. Why am I hurt by it? I don't know. I mean, I'd never played it anyway.
Yeah, I don't think I played Syndicate either.
I did not. That's the one where you play as
the sister or brother.
Yeah. No, I didn't play that one. I don't have any intention to play it, so I'm not hurt by this. But it is weird for them to say, "Oh, these games also won't work," and it's like, but PlayStation said it's something different.
Well, now I think is why people were so upset, because now they're scared that every
company,
publisher or developer might come out and suddenly be like, "Oh, here's our list, and here's our list," and then you go over like, "Well, wait, there's 5-6 games, and now there's 20 to 30."
Yeah, 5-6 games per company.
And so far, that's not the case. You know, that is completely speculation. But it's just that I think is where some of the concern and worry came from the internet reaction.
People, they just want their backward compatibility, man.
I think it's, you know, I can get the argument why some people are disappointed if they don't get PS2, PS3. But I feel like this day and age, you need to like have as many PS4 games working, because that is going to make a huge difference. Like me and you like talked about this before. If PS4 would have had backwards compatibility with PS3, it would have been an easier transition to your new console because unfortunately, unlike PS5, PS4 did not have the greatest launch lineup. And I remember playing terrible games, being bored as heck. And honestly, if my PS3 didn't break, I probably would have been playing that much more than my PS4 months after launch.
I don't remember the exact timeline, but I probably played the PS3 at least a year into the PS4's lifespan. I had it day one, but it's just there was so few things to play at the time, and there was no backwards compatibility.
No, until Witcher 3, I really just didn't feel like there was I'm always going to want it day one, but there was almost no point in having it until Witcher 3 came out.
But this one is like, it looks like we're going to have everything.
Well, and then the fact that you, like, when there is a lull, that you could go back to Legions if you want and experience with those boosts. You know, I didn't make it an article, but like Days Gone is getting dynamic 4K and 60 frames per second.
That game would look really good.
And that's going to be free because me and you have PlayStation Plus.
Part of the collection, right?
Yes. So I'm like, yeah, things like that. Like, there's going to be incentive because I never played Days Gone.
Forgot about those games.
That could be me going back there when there is a lull. Like, let's say, I don't know if there will be because it kind of sounds like we're getting tons of delays all the time. So this could change. But like, as of now, if the train stays on the tracks, then 2021 also sounds like a banger. So like, I don't know if there will be a lull, if I'll ever have time to recoup any of these games. But
my backlog has a backlog.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's all I'm going to say on that matter.
And speaking of delays, Ubisoft also has announced that the Avatar game, which I don't know if I remember knowing about.
This was announced a long time ago.
Yeah. Is getting pushed into 2022, which will probably then be 2023.
I doubt it has any connection, but it sounds like it will now come out the same year as Avatar 2 is supposed to hit theaters.
Maybe this could be cross story into the game. Oh, I hope the game's not like made based 100% off the movie. Those never they never work.
Yeah.
They just don't. I did enjoy the Avatar movie.
I'm one of the rare ones too. Like, it's like a guilty pleasure, but if they release it on 4K, am I going to watch it again? Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I think the reason I liked it is it felt a lot like, the whole Avatar's not really part of it, but it felt like watching a movie of like StarCraft, like with the Marines and all that stuff. I mean, they're creatures and stuff, which is still StarCraft, but when they were doing the big fight scenes, it was like, oh, this is like watching like a StarCraft movie.
I just think everything looked beautiful. Like I've heard the comparisons. People are like, oh, that's just Pocahontas in space. I'm like, yeah, but Pocahontas, like, maybe it's my preference, never looked that good.
No.
And like those environments were cool. I like the way the world worked. They're connecting to trees, horses, everything. Pocahontas never attached her freaking hair to a tree. So, suck on them lemons.
Wrapped around a tree, maybe.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know. It's not a big article, but it's just more Ubisoft delays, I think, is the grander theme here.
Yeah, that's why we tacked it on.
Yes. Number 5. Activision accumulates over $1.2 billion off of microtransactions this last quarter.
Just the quarter.
Just the last quarter.
That's 25%, people.
And I'm like, this is the same company that needs you to spend $10 more on each game.
Oh, man. Like, I don't know. I don't think it goes into details about breaking down where that money's coming from, but I highly suspect a lot of this money is coming from the Call of Duty mobile game.
I think it's that. I think it's Warzone. But I suspect you're right. I wouldn't doubt if a lot of this is mobile.
Like, there's like the what is it? The MOBA style or whatever. Maybe if World of Warcraft, that might fall under there. Well, is there a lot of microtransactions in World of Warcraft? Did they add that stuff? Because I remember when the game originally came out, I don't remember there being...
I haven't played it in so long.
There's probably an in-game currency, but I don't...
Yeah, but I don't think so, because that game's supposed to be like grind and raid. So other than expansions, I don't know what they were... I guess... pets and mounts.
Oh, yeah, mounts. Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt if there's some. You do have to purchase if you want to change your character's look.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that. But I just, for this increase right now, like, that's not wow, right? Like, I'm thinking it's that. Is it loot boxes from Overwatch? Like, I'm wondering if, I know they have loot boxes. So, again, why it would jump this much? It's got to be Call of Duty, I think. If it's Warzone... if it's the mobile, whichever, I definitely think it's that.
It's a lot of money. I'm seeing so many companies just making so much money.
Yeah.
And it's usually because of these crappy mobile
and
games.
If it is the mobile or the Warzone, I mean, those are both free to play.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, again, kind of shows that like if you support a game and you kind of do at least a decent job at it, then it's like you're going to make money.
It was like Genshin Impact and how much they made in
Yes.
just the first month. It's a free game. They made, I can't remember the number, but it was zounds of money.
Well, and it's, from a developer that's not Activision, right?
No, yeah.
They didn't have the funds Activision had. So it's impressive for Genshin Impact. I mean, this is still impressive, obviously,
for
too.
sure.
Like, that's...
Oh, it's only 1.2.
like now you're starting to, like, flip off Fortnite,
Oh,
you know?
God. Yeah. No, that's impressive numbers. I just wish we'd see more of that money going into paying the developers good monies and then putting more money into better games.
Yes, and games that don't take up half your hard drive.
Yes, spend at least maybe 100 of that million just to optimize the file size.
Maybe take out some of that filler.
That filler, the gap,
Plays.
It's just white space.
Yeah. Maybe a new engine so you don't look like you're always 2 years behind.
Not quite melted plastic levels, but yeah, I'm getting there.
Number 6.
So we're having some fun. We're taking a look at different hard drive sizes that we're going to have, and we're trying to do some comparisons because it seems like everybody's losing their mind about each gig that you're potentially missing out on each system. So in comparison, it looks like the Xbox Series S is coming with a built-in 512 gigabyte SSD, but of what's usable space is 364 gigs.
Which is a little tight considering you're boasting an all-digital console.
Yes, you're going to be game passing and then downloading all that stuff. 360 is not even 2 Call of Duties, which
It might not only be one Call of Duty.
Well, yeah. So it's kind of it's funny. In comparison, let's go do the Series X. The Series X is a
1 terabyte.
1 terabyte with 802 gigabytes of usable storage. So that's over double the Series S. And then in comparison is with the PlayStation 5, which we're getting a 667 gigabits of usable space.
I'm hearing that number sway a bit. I've heard like 646. I've heard someone say 650. We're not going to know until we get it in our hands, sadly.
It's reportedly 667. I'll definitely be checking as soon as I first turn that sucker on.
Do we know the total of that hard drive? I thought it was a wonky ass number, like 800 or something.
I thought it was, it sounds familiar, 800 and something, but...
Oh, there it is. It's 825. So
it's an odd size.
It sounds like it uses less than 200 gigs, though. So it's actually, the OS is technically smaller and stealing less your hard drive than the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
It's technically a win. And again, you guys got to remember, I think we talked about this before. I've said it in this episode alone. It sounds like we're dealing with averages of $200 per terabyte. So if you are going to complain about the PS5's hard drive space or even the Xbox, whichever one, I mean, they're giving you such a value in these consoles for how little they're charging us. Honestly, if you try to make this on a PC, I just don't see how you'd be able to do it for under $1,500.
No, I 100% agree.
So I'm just sometimes we got to take a step back, look at it, reevaluate, and be like, you know what? $650 ain't that bad for how little you're charging me.
Mm-hmm. And we're not, I don't think either of us are saying one is worse or better than the other. We're just saying what they are, sizes.
And the argument could be made if you're that upset that Xbox is, taking up slightly more. I mean, the Series X at least, I could see some disappointment because I'm one of those that think the digital or the Series S is pointless. I don't understand why it exists. I assume most people know this, but it is less powerful than an Xbox One X in terms of teraflops.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it has an SSD, but even now, hearing more and more, we're getting closer to launch. I'm hearing more numbers where they kept toting that this thing would do 120 frames per second. Yet every next-gen console game I'm hearing, when it runs on the S, they're only talking in 1080p.
Mm-hmm.
So quit calling it next-gen if it's weaker. And especially when you're that close price point to the PS5 digital, that has no removal of any of the hardware. It's still the same thing, except the physical drive is missing. And when you start comparing those two for price difference of how different they are, you're talking about twice the speed hard drive. You're talking about over twice the amount of teraflops. The RAM, like the storage, like, and it's only $100 different. I don't understand why this Series S exists.
I don't know where in their marketing plan they said they needed this. Is this them saying we need something that's more affordable for Christmas season?
For sure, but like it's less powerful than the One X.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense why anyone would buy this.
Probably.
And if you're going to tote that it's this digital edition, but you're only giving 350 usable gigs of storage on a digital console, like the digital PlayStation one will still have the same 650 gigs.
Do you know roughly a price of what the Xbox One X is right now?
I guess looking back, the Xbox One X, it looks like they're literally within under $50 difference value price-wise.
Right.
And the One X, other than the SSD, it looks like it's still a superior console.
It does, with more space.
Yeah, and it would have more hard drive
and
space.
Can play discs.
Yes. It's just, I don't understand the S. Like, again, like that's not even what this article's about. It's just what's come to my brain of like, why does this thing exist? Especially now with this space kerfluffle of, you don't even have 512 gigs and it's a digital console. And if it's going to pretend that it's next gen and it's downloading all these bigger games, and not all of them are going to be bigger. We talked about some of them before, but like you said, like Warzone is going to eat up half your hard drive. Boom. Now you only have a little over 150 gigs left. So anyway, we're done with that article. That's
Let's move on.
We thought we'd give you a little idea of like what it sounds like you're going to get when you take this thing out of the box.
Yep.
So enough said. We got through all our articles in that timely manner we love so much. So now we're going to homework. What is homework? Homework is where we just get to the articles we didn't really have time with. So we just kind of let you know what they are. You can seek them out on your own time and hopefully educate yourself a little bit.
So the very first article we're going to go into is one we've talked about a couple times in the past.
Disappointing one.
This one's had everybody, I think, hyped and then like spiraling down.
Heartbroken.
Yeah, so we talked about it before. It was a small company called PlayStation, and they were going to have new covers that you could purchase for your system, which they looked fantastic and
anything but white.
Anything but white. Everything was like so happy. People were like, "Oh, this is exactly what we needed." And then Sony caught wind of it, and they're like, "No, you can't do that." And what we reported last week was that it made the company change their name, and they changed it to Customize My Plates instead of PlayStation, which I could see why they would have issue with that. But then shortly after that, after us reporting that article, they're like, no, altogether, stop that crap. So they put, I guess, I don't know if there's a legit
sounds like
cease
there's a
and desist.
patent. Yeah, it sounds like there's a patent on the actual case
Covers,
itself, the
yeah.
cover. So they just couldn't find a way to get around that and still somehow make them. So they decided just to save headaches, save lawsuits, switch to vinyl.
Yeah. They're going to let you put stickers, or they'll make stickers, which I don't know. Is this going to be a sticker that covers the whole system? I bet you that's what they're going to do. It's gonna be like
I imagine it'd be a two-side sticky. So you stick on the one side.
It's just a solid black thing. You just stick it onto the white.
Honestly, well, I'm sure they'll have some custom ones, but yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. Sony better step up then. If they're going to stop them, then you better damn well
have options.
Yes.
I don't want 3 colors. Give us like custom ones for exclusive games.
Right now, just let me buy a black one.
Just black, yeah.
Yeah.
Get rid of
and a black controller. Next bit of homework. Sony adds game names to new PlayStation Store on web browser. Apparently, there was an issue where names of the titles were not showing up on their web browser for the store.
You had to click them.
You had to click them to see the name. Kind of irritates some people. I understandably why. Like sometimes you're just not going to catch on through just a tiny little thumbnail. So anyway, they finally switched that up. So you can find that at Push Square.
In other news, we have our first screenshots of the new Resident Evil movie, and I'm excited. They got a picture of the RPD police station. It looks like either extras or
lots of fog,
zombies,
and possibly
fire,
some zombies,
burning truck. It looks great. I love anything Resident Evil. These screenshots look really good.
Where's Mila Jovovich? I don't see
Resident
Mila.
Evil. Yeah, there's some people posting some pictures. You can find the article on Game Informer, but there's one where it's like, my sister works in Resident Evil. So jelly. I wish.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
So I'm just happy these reboots are happening.
Mm-hmm.
The source code for a hacking game Watch Dogs Legion has seemingly been hacked. Irony is not lost here. And now it sounds like Ubisoft is searching desperately for its source code. Yeah, it's just a fun little article. I only put it in for the hilarious,
the lulls.
Yeah, the lulls and the irony. So you can find that on IGN. Other than that, that is all our homework. That is it for the show. We are done again. We will see you next Monday. Thanks for listening and or watching. We will talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Today on episode 35 of the Homo Play podcast.
Gonorrhea and why you have it.
Bird. Is the Sony PlayStation 5 has been, I don't know why I said Sony PlayStation 5, duh. The PlayStation 5 is going to ship out with an HDMI 2.1 cable. There's some confusion about it.
Is that Sony's PS5 or is that Microsoft's PS5?
I think that's Google's.
Okay.
Google's.
Is that Hulu? Is that a Hulu thing?
Hulu thing.
Yeah.
Frustration.
Tell me faster.
I don't want to cut you off.
Or my brain's just turning to Jello. It's
go.
like Bill Cosby's in my brain. He's like Jello. Oh, I got caught again.
Do you want to do like maybe transition it a little bit better? Say like, so in addition to those tips, and then go into that tip.
Okay. So in addition.